What if the Cold War turned hot? The Cold War, a period of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, a time when the world teetered on the edge of nuclear conflict. But what if instead of staying cold, the Cold War had turned hot? What if these tensions exploded into full-scale war? It all could have started in a flash. The Berlin Crisis of 1961, the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, moments when the world held its breath. Imagine if a single order had been given, if a single shot had escalated into a full-blown conflict. With superpowers on both sides, it wouldn't have been just another war. It would have been a global conflict, NATO versus the Warsaw Pact, dragging countries around the world into a fight they weren't prepared for. The Cold War's greatest fear was the use of nuclear weapons. In a hot war scenario, it's likely that both sides would deploy their nuclear arsenals. The result? A catastrophic chain reaction that would lead to unimaginable destruction. Major cities would be targeted: New York, Moscow, London and beyond. Millions of lives lost in mere moments. The world would have changed forever in the blink of an eye, plunging us into a nuclear winter. Those who survived the initial blasts would face a new kind of war, one for survival. With food, water and resources scarce, humanity would be fighting not just each other, but also radiation and environmental collapse. The once powerful nations would crumble, their people left to navigate a world that had turned hostile. The fear of the Cold War would give way to the harsh reality of survival in a broken world. A hot Cold War wouldn't just affect the 20th century, it would shape the future of humanity. The political landscape would be shattered, with no superpowers left to lead. New alliances would be formed, and power would shift to regions left relatively untouched by the destruction. The survivors would need to rebuild, relying on their communities to restart civilization. Technology and progress would be set back by decades, if not centuries, as the world struggled to find its way forward in the aftermath of nuclear war. The Cold War was defined by brinkmanship, by staying just on the edge of disaster without tipping over. If the Cold War had turned hot, it would have been a defining moment in human history, a reminder of how close we came to losing everything. It's a sobering thought, but also a reminder of why diplomacy, understanding and peace are so vital. The Cold War could have turned hot, but it didn't. And because of that, we still have a world to protect. Subscribe for more what-if explorations and stay curious.